Happening now, county officials are worried about Pennsylvania's COVID-19 numbers. Will they implement a travel advisory here in New York State? We find out next. Plus, a Jamestown man has been charged in a shooting incident yesterday near Lincoln Street.
And it's been another wet and gloomy morning out there, and the rain is going to continue in pockets through the afternoon, then a little bit of a warm-up as we go into late week. I've got the details next. The news starts now.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
And thanks for joining us for WNY News Now at 12:30. I'm Justin Gould. During a visit to a rapid testing facility in Mayville this morning, New York State Lieutenant Governor Kathy Hochul clarified that the infection rates in Chautauqua County seem to be from specific hotspots and is not a community-wide outbreak. Hochul says once local hotspots are identified, health leaders will be there to jump on it and contain it. She is urging people to get tested even if they do not have symptoms.
I just had one done yesterday. This is not painful. It's just a few seconds of your time to have that assurance to know that when you interact with your coworkers or your family members that you are safe, that you've tested negative.
Now, County Health Director Christine Schuyler says she feels like the state administration is listening to them. And the meeting with Hochul this morning was a good example of that. Hochul is also visiting testing sites today in Cattaraugus and Allegheny counties. Well, the chance of Pennsylvania being added to the quarantine travel advisory here in New York could cripple the local economy, already struggling in the face of a months-long pandemic. So says Chautauqua County Executive P.J. Wendell, who tells us if the action is taken without guidance from the state, consequences will be dire. Wendell wondered why Chautauqua County is considered a hot spot now, but was not a hot spot in September, with more positive COVID cases than it has now. He says the county is doing a good job with dealing with the virus so far.
Are the numbers going up? Certainly. But we have demonstrated, whether it's Fieldbrook Foods, SUNY Fredonia, when we go out, we test, and we become very aggressive at mitigating the spread, we're very successful. So should we see this again, but to close and our states have been going nonstop since we opened back in June. This isn't anything new.
Now, Wendell says he doesn't understand why the state can look at new cases by zip code, but not look at other states that way, noting he is sure nearby Warren County has a lower infection rate than the total Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, or cities such as Erie, Pittsburgh, and Philadelphia. The county executive vows to keep trying to discuss the impact of the county's lifestyle and economics with the governor and to work with other lawmakers to reach a solution. Well, the city of Jamestown man faces charges in a shooting which took place yesterday on East 7th Street and Lincoln Street, that according to Jamestown police. 20-year-old Stephen Thomas is charged after he allegedly fired several shots from a 9mm handgun into a home occupied by adults and children. Luckily, no injuries were reported. The suspect was located by police in a residence on Columbia Avenue and was charged with second-degree criminal possession of a weapon and first-degree reckless endangerment in that case. Now, police say they believe the incident is a targeted crime and not a random act of violence. They say the crime may be linked to a September 13th shooting on Bowen Street. Well, a Jamestown murder suspect has been re-indicted by a Chautauqua County grand jury. Chautauqua County Public Defender Ned Barone broke the news to WNY News Now yesterday that Julio Montanez is facing a count of second-degree murder and 2 counts of second-degree attempted murder, the same charges as the original indictment filed back in November 2019. Barone says Montanez was arraigned yesterday afternoon in county court where he pled not guilty. Now, we spoke to Chautauqua County District Attorney Patrick Swanson following the arraignment. He says this was a straightforward process.
Spoke with the police agencies involved, collected our witnesses, and presented the case to the grand jury. And no surprises, they indicted the defendant on the same things that he was indicted on previously. We did it last year.
Now, bail was set at $150,000 cash or $300,000 property bond. Well, we thank you for joining us here for WNY News Now, coming off of Governor Andrew Cuomo's live press conference phone call briefing. Let's check in with the comments and say hello to Wallace. Good to see you. Good to see Carol, Sean, Scott, Pam, and Joseph. Thanks all so much for joining us here today. Let us know what you're thinking about these stories and more in the comments down below. Well, now let's get a check of our First Defense weather forecast. Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter is standing by with a live look at that. And Dakota, it certainly was a little rainy and kind of chilly out there this morning.
Yes, it was. And I mean, it was raining a little bit this morning and the temperature's down once again today. Current temperature at Findlay Lake at this camera site, 46 degrees. And they've picked up about just a little over 1/100th of an inch so far since midnight today. So here's the radar essentially over the past 5 hours. The rain has been actually moving to the northeast. So it's been moving basically northeast throughout the area today. And it's pockets of rain. The widespread rain that we had yesterday is kind of tapered off, but you notice there's a little bit more development, especially down to our south and especially out to our west. So a little bit more rains to come. So the chance of rain over the next 5 days, really tomorrow, best chance of rain, I think is going to be mainly tomorrow and then, especially through the day tomorrow, 75%. And then Thursday and Friday should be mainly dry, but we'll keep a small chance for a shower in there for Friday and Saturday. But this is all well-needed rain. I'll show you the rainfall totals over the past 2 days a little bit later, but it's beneficial rain we need. 52 is the high yesterday, 45 is where we started the day, 77 and 20 are the record highs and lows set at the airport on this day. So through the afternoon, the widespread rain showers will taper off, then it just turns to a few scattered showers through the afternoon. For the afternoon hours, patchy fog is likely, overcast and cool, 48 to 54, so almost the same thing as yesterday. Where we're at right now, add a few degrees on top of it, there's your high temperatures with the northeast averaging 5 to 10, but a little bit of a warm-up is on the way. Then we go chilly again. And how's Halloween looking? I'll give you an early look in just a few. Justin?
All right, Dakota, we'll be looking for that snapshot. Thank you. Members of Jamestown City Council are expressing concerns over a recommendation from Mayor Eddie Sundquist that would raise the parking meter fee to $1 an hour in the city starting January 1. Councilwoman Marie Karuba was one of the members who explained her hesitation during the work session last night. Karuba, who represents Ward 4, says that after listening to concerns from business owners, she's concerned that the increase in the rate could be a detriment to the downtown economy in the long term.
I understand the need to generate revenue, but I'd hate to see it drive out businesses that aren't going to get people coming because they don't want to pay for the parking. Especially right now with the number of people that are unemployed and people that are financially disadvantaged because of this. I think it's a tough thing to discourage people from coming down. And this actually doubled the cost, correct? It's 50 cents an hour right now.
Now, the mayor says part of the reasoning behind the increase is because the city is exploring a transition into an app-based meter feeding system to cover a transaction fee. The resolution, which he says will potentially double the revenue from parking meters, states that a mobile pay solution would be provided in November as part of a separate resolution to the council. Now, the resolution for the increase wasn't tabled for further discussion, which means the council is expected to vote on it during its voting session on October 28th. Well, the Jamestown Public Safety Committee in the council is seeking the community's input through an online survey regarding the city's police reform initiative. Officials say the survey is intended to solicit feedback from residents about the Jamestown Police Department. Now, cities are required to develop plans to modernize and reinvent policing strategies here in New York State, following an order by the governor this spring. The proposed plans must include sections on policing, procedures, development, and use of force, among others. The survey closes November 1st, and the plan must be adopted by April 1st. We have a link to that right now at WNYNewsNow.com. Well, coming up next, could this Thanksgiving be a bust for area turkey farmers? But first, the race for Tom Reed's congressional seat is getting heated as Election Day draws nearer. What some accusations on Facebook are causing. When we come back.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
I'm Jason Schmidt. I'm a former felony prosecutor and a criminal defense attorney here in Chautauqua County. I've worked both sides of the system for the past 15 years. I'm the only candidate endorsed by local law enforcement. Police here in Chautauqua County know what's going on. Each year here in Chautauqua County, the police make about 1,000 felony arrests. In 2019, only 17.4% of those arrests resulted in felony convictions. I know how to fix their problems, and that's why I'm running for district attorney.
As a former county executive, I know exactly the challenges and opportunities that we have here in Chautauqua County. That's why I'm very proud to support PJ Wendell for county executive. His knowledge, his experience, and his leadership are exactly what we need at this moment in time. I would ask you all to please support PJ Wendell for county executive.
Wendell has the experience, he's got the leadership, and he's got the knowledge and ability.
One of the most important characteristics of a successful county executive is being able to surround themselves with the right people for the right situation. And that is exactly what PJ Wendell has done. Having direct experience in county government is absolutely critical, and no one should start out as county executive with having no experience at all with county government. So PJ Wendell brings that experience both as a long-term legislator and a former chairman of the legislature. He has my 100% support.
For the past 9 years, I've been a prosecutor right here in Chautauqua County, fighting to keep this community safe. My family lives here with me in Fredonia, and I grew up in Sherman, New York. Fighting to make sure that these communities stay safe is so very important to me. We have the highest caseload of any county in this state, and as your district attorney, I'm dedicated to making sure that each case gets handled the right way for not only the victims, but for the people that live in this county. I'm fully invested in this community, and I'm fully invested in this community's future. Vote Patrick Swanson for Chautauqua County District Attorney.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
And welcome back. The Chautauqua County Health Department is seeking the identity of the owners of a dog that bit someone last week here in Jamestown. Officials need to confirm the rabies immunization status of that dog, which was involved in an attack last Friday at the 300 block of Willard Street. Anyone with information in the incident or may know who the dog's owner are is asked to call the Chautauqua County Health Department at 1-866-04-6789. We have more at our website now. Well, Congressman Tom Reed held a press conference yesterday stating that an alleged senior political strategist on his opponent, congressional candidate Tracy Matrano's team, made posts on social medias against police support. Kelly Wine works as a political campaigns across the country, including Matrano's. Now, according to Wine's social media account, she made threats using phrases and hashtags including ACAB, defund police, abolish police, and on Wine's bio, she also says that she's a political strategist who's radicalizing your mom into joining Antifa.
Antifa is that extreme faction of the Democratic Party that engages in violent activity against folks in regards to those that may be part of the Republican Party and others. And Antifa has been obviously discussed in the national press, and is a very radical extremist group.
He turns it into a zero-sum game where either you support the police, in which case then you are against fairness, justice, and peace, or you support fairness, justice, and peace, which puts you against law enforcement. That's a false equivalency that he's making, a false choice, and it is not going to help this country heal. It's not going to help this country address the disproportionate number of Black, brown, and Indigenous people that are affected by police brutality, or anyone who is affected by police brutality.
Now, the congressman made parallels to 2018 when Matrano had a staffer resign after a social media post was found of her using expletives in reference to the police and the president. Well, if the 2020 presidential campaign is a marathon, both President Trump and former Vice President Joe Biden are starting the 26th mile as both campaigns are stumping millions of voters have already taken part in the political process. John Lawrence has more from the trail.
Election Day 2020 is just 2 weeks away.
We're going to win. I wouldn't have said that 3 weeks ago.
I promise you, I'll work as hard for those who don't support me as those who did.
More than 28 million Americans have cast their ballots early.
Democracy isn't a spectator sport. It's not for bleacher bums. You got to get involved. So that's why I'm here, and so I'm going to do my democratic duty.
You know, if you're not going to vote, don't complain for the next 4 years. That's the way I look at it.
Over the next 14 days, voters will decide whether to have another term with the Trump administration.
With your continued support every day between now and November 3rd, we're going to have a great victory.
Or start a new era with a Biden White House.
Justice is on the ballot in 2020. Economic justice is on the ballot in 2020. Climate justice is on the ballot in 2020.
Trump and Biden are scheduled to debate for the second and final time this Thursday. The Commission on the Presidential Debates announced microphones will be muted to prevent interruptions.
He has never offered a plan.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
John, thank you. The president is making a campaign stop in the nearby battleground state of Pennsylvania tonight. Meanwhile, Democratic officials say former President Barack Obama is expected to start campaigning for Biden there this week. Well, turkey farmers are worried about Thanksgiving this year. They're concerned specifically about an oversupply of birds as demand declines due to stay-at-home orders. They're concerned that families will purchase smaller turkeys because of smaller gatherings. The National Turkey Federation says that consumption of the bird has doubled since 1970. In 2019, U.S. consumption was 5.3 billion pounds and 16.1 per person. Certainly, maybe our furry friends will be doing a little better come this Thanksgiving. Making me hungry at lunchtime. They always do this. Thanks for joining us here for WNY News Now. Hopefully everyone's having a good day. Great to see Jody, Diana, Christine, Danielle, Natalie. Thanks so much for joining us. And good to see Alice, Judy, and Kathy. Well, let's check in with Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter now with a first look at our weather. Dakota, I don't know about you, but being a half an hour behind from the governor's live briefing, I'm just hungrier than I was, and those turkeys looked good.
Yeah, I know. Everything for the afternoon's been pushed back a half hour because of the governor's COVID update. But, I mean, you know, speaking of turkeys, now, Justin, does your family buy a big, gigantic, like, turkey?
Yes, big turkey, lots of leftovers.
Okay, because it's like you know, for years my family's always bought just turkey breast. Oh. Because it's cheaper, A, number one, and B, because it's mainly just me and my parents usually at Thanksgiving. I mean, it's nobody else usually, so it's like, you know, a turkey breast is fine. We don't need to cook like a whole gigantic turkey. We can just usually cook the turkey breast. We'll have that along with probably, you know, mashed potatoes and stuffing and corn and whatnot. Maybe homemade rolls if my dad will make some.
You're making me so hungry.
Okay, should we get to weather? Yeah. Instead of talking about food? Anyway, speaking about food, the rain can be used as food for those plants out there. This is the 2-day rain total starting yesterday at midnight. Just a little less than 3/4 of an inch officially at the Jamestown airport. Look at Clymer at 1.01, Fredonia 1.02, Randolph 1 inches, and Olean just a little more than 3/4 of an inch. So this starts yesterday at midnight, goes all the way from yesterday, last night, and then so far today. So this is how much rain we've picked up so far today, and we're going to have a little bit more coming our way, which is good. We need the rain. So here's the First Defense Doppler radar showing you where the most widespread rain is now, based hightailing out of Cattaraugus County going into, especially going out toward Bolivar and Allegheny County. Cold front has moved on through, but a front is still stationary across the region, so it's allowing several waves of low pressure to ride along that front. So that's part of the reason why we have the rain, because the front is stalled across the area. So we'll take you hour by hour on the computer modeling here, and it shows you just a few scattered showers through the afternoon. Now tonight, a few scattered showers, then they start to pick up, especially in coverage and intensity overnight. Notice the darker colors here, the oranges and the reds. That starts to indicate moderate to heavy rainfall. Wouldn't be surprised if we see 1 or 2 thunder bumpers overnight and especially into early tomorrow morning. And then that'll start to kind of clear out. But again, we're going to be on again, off again showers, especially through the day tomorrow. This is the presence of a cold front right here. Notice this solid line of showers right here. That's in advance of a cold front that actually sweeps on through. But the cold front's not going to produce much cooling. It's actually going to allow another warm front to move our way and spike temperatures as we go into Thursday as well. So additional rainfall totals here. This is the computer estimated coming off Future Scan. So we're going generally about 1/4 of an inch to maybe upwards of an inch in spots. But again, this is all beneficial rain we need. So, I mean, somebody stopped me on the sidewalk, I think it was yesterday when I was going home, and talked to me about it. But yeah, we need the rain. 46 as a noon hour, northeast wind of 8 miles per hour. We have that wind chill index down there. So here's an early look at Halloween. Now, again, this is the 6 to 10 day, the 8 to 14 day temp outlook coming from the Climate Prediction Center. And notice all this blue across the Great Lakes and the northeast region here. So likely we're going to be going cooler than average temperatures. And as I told you yesterday, we are getting close to the average date of our first snowfall around here. So I wouldn't be a bit surprised if towards Halloween, maybe a couple flakes. Not guaranteed yet. The tropics very quickly. We now have Epsilon in the Atlantic. The furthest we've ever gone is Zeta in the Greek alphabet in 2005. We still have a month left of the hurricane season. I think we're going to go past Zeta here as we go into the last month here. So temperatures this afternoon, lower 50s. That'll do it. Maybe upper 40s in some spots. Just another wet and gloomy afternoon. How about the next 7 days of your life that are coming up right now? Temperature rises overnight. 49 early low will likely be in the 60s as you all wake up tomorrow morning. 65 for the afternoon, breezy and mild. 67 Thursday, should be mainly dry. What a day on Friday. 72 degrees, mostly sunny, just a small chance for a shower in the afternoon. Scattered showers Saturday, 51. And temperatures actually moderate a little bit to around where they should be for early next week. We'll take a break. Be right back.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
First Defense Weather is sponsored by 42 Degrees and Sunny, smokin' deals on smoking accessories. Learn more at 42degreesandsunny.com. That's 42degreesandsunny.com.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer, plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
I'm Jason Schmidt. I'm a former felony prosecutor and a criminal defense attorney here in Chautauqua County. Each year here in Chautauqua County, the police make about 1,000 felony arrests. In 2019, only 17.4% of those arrests resulted in felony convictions. It means that in less than 2 out of 10 serious crimes, the victims of those cases receive justice. 17.4% is not a number that's acceptable for me and my family. It certainly isn't good enough for yours.
Hi, I'm George Borrello, and I'm proud to serve as your senator for New York's 57th Senate District. In fact, in my first year, I've passed many pieces of legislation as well as helping people and businesses in these challenging times. From fighting for a safe, common-sense reopening of our state's economy during the COVID-19 pandemic to continuing the push for the repeal of the state's flawed criminal justice changes, which have made us all less safe, I am working hard for you every day as your state senator. Your vote will help me continue my mission to boost New York's economy, struggling from the COVID shutdown, and for small businesses not just to survive, but thrive. I will also continue to hold the government accountable by reviewing policies that led to the tragic nursing home deaths statewide. I'm proud to represent our beautifully diverse region, and I will be honored to have your vote on Tuesday, November 3rd, so that I can continue my work fighting for you. It's not about rhetoric, it's about results.
Paid for by Borrello for Senate.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
Negotiators are on Capitol Hill facing a fast-approaching deadline to reach an agreement on a new stimulus package. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi set a deadline today for reaching a coronavirus relief deal with Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin. While the president has supported the idea of a larger stimulus package, many Republicans are wary of the growing deficit. There is skepticism that even if agreement is reached with the Speaker, the measure will face stiff opposition in the Senate. House Democrats favor a $1.8 trillion spending proposal, while the one backed by the Republicans is $500 billion. Democrats would need 13 Republican senators to join them to get the larger package approved, which seems unlikely at this point. Skeptics say there are still a number of key sticking points, and time is running out. Well, the world's largest movie theater chain says it could be running out of money by the end of the year. This as Governor Andrew Cuomo gave some theaters here in New York State the okay to reopen over the weekend, but not in Chautauqua County because of our COVID numbers. Our Mandy Gaither explains how the industry is now looking to adapt in a pandemic world.
Beginning October 23, movie theaters outside of New York City will be allowed to reopen at 25% capacity with up to 50 people maximum per screen.
From state shutdowns to uneasy customers, the movie theater industry is feeling the pinch from the pandemic. Since shutting their doors in March, theaters have tried to reopen with health measures meant to help curb the virus's spread. Yet the industry hasn't been able to get back on its feet. AMC, the world's largest movie theater chain, has had an attendance decline of 85% compared to last year. AMC announced this month its existing cash resources would be largely depleted by the end of this year because of the reduced movie slate for the fourth quarter. Major films like the new James Bond have been pushed to next year, and others like Disney's Mulan skip theaters altogether, going straight to digital. Cineworld Group, the owner of Regal Cinemas, suspended operations of all its U.S. and United Kingdom theaters this month, affecting 45,000 employees. AMC said it has two ways out of its cash crisis. Either more customers need to buy tickets, or it will have to find new ways to borrow money. For Consumer Watch, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Mandy, thank you. In a post on signage outside the local Dipson Cinema in Lakewood, the business calls on the governor to reopen them. Well, National Bosses Day was last week, and if you missed it, Coke may just have a way to get you out of the doghouse. The company is giving away a year's supply of Diet Coke, complete with a mini fridge. You have until November 16 to nominate your boss at dietcoke.com/boss day. Now, the good news is you don't have to report directly to your nominee. The only requirement is you have to be someone who has gone beyond the call of duty to take on all that 2020 has entailed, like a true boss. There's also some bad news. You can't nominate yourself. Hopefully someone else thinks you're as great as you do. As for the big question, what's a year supply of Coke like? Dakota, how much Coke do you think?
Well, let's see. Are we talking about the 24-pack cans? Are we talking about liters, bottles?
The hint is it's cans.
Okay, so if it's 24 cans, let's see, 24 cans, 1 can a day.
You did it. Ding, ding, ding. 365 cans is what you would win. That is what they define a year worth of Coke. Wow, you're good.
Do I win that just because I guessed that?
I'll nominate you.
All right. I was about to say, you know, Andrew Stevenson, if he's watching on the weather staff.
Nominate Dakota.
Remember who interviewed you.
Who gave you, that's true. You know what though, 2020, it's been a heck of a year for everybody. And I think bosses especially, when you look at it, the decisions that have to be made and you try not to tick people off with the changes because boy, can changes make people mad. We know that around here, don't we?
I know. But I mean, it's like, you know, what, a year's supply of Coke. I mean, and, you know, for me, it's like, you know, I don't drink much pop anymore.
Same.
But it's like, you know, it's still nice to, you know, have a Diet Coke every once in a while, or, you know, a Diet Pepsi. I mean, I'm not a brand hater. I like both Pepsi and Coke.
Yeah.
So I'm not a brand hater.
They're both pretty good, that's for sure. Pepsi, big local favorite, so. Well, that's going to do it for us today. Of course, news continues 24/7 at WNYNewsNow.com. A live look over downtown Jamestown. The rain is paused for now. News continues 24/7 on our mobile app. We're back here tomorrow. Have a great day.